It is of the utmost importance as you traverse this earth that you learn how to discern instead of projecting. And by discerning, this essentially means that you should not be looking at life through rose-colored lenses. You should be looking at exactly what is in front of your face. And when we are talking about pathological narcissists, then understand that pathological narcissists do not have love to give. What they have to give is whatever lies between shame and pride. So understand that every day a pathological narcissist wakes up, they are in a self-loathing state because they are based in shame. This is their level of consciousness. Remember where we talked about discerning before and not projecting? So do not project your level of consciousness onto someone else because they are their own person. Pathological narcissists are based in shame and they're unable to move past their pride. So every day a pathological narcissist wakes up, they are in the first dimension because they are in a self-loathing state. They are in a shame-based state. And at best they get to pride. And the pride that we're talking about here is dysfunctional pride. And this is where their grandiosity and their false sense of superiority comes from. So understand that someone that is filled with pride essentially believes that they're perfect and they essentially do not need to change. Hence, pride comes before the fall and they fall right back down to shame. You know what you will not find between shame and pride? Empathy. Do you know what you will find between shame and pride? Apathy. And this is where their coldness comes from. They're very callous individuals because they do not have empathy to give to you. There's no empathy in the third dimension. You'll get to empathy because empathy is linked to love, kindness, and compassion. You get to those vibrations when you get to the level of 500 or above. Understand that oftentimes people, pathological narcissists, have to look up to see shame. They have pathologically low self-esteem. Self-esteem so low that they'd probably have to look up to see it. So you are dealing with someone that hates themselves. And no, because they hate themselves, what they do is they cover this up with their grandiosity. And this is where their pride comes from. However, again, they're unable to let go of their pride. So pride comes right before the fall and they fall right back down to shame. That is what you are dealing with, a self-loathing individual. And understand that if you are dealing with a self-loathing individual, that individual does not have love to give to you. They don't even like themselves, you see. And where do you find love? Love is way up there in the fifth dimension, in the 500s. And pathological narcissists are unable to pass level 199. As you traverse this earth, it is of the utmost importance that you find your equals. People that are at the level of vibration that you are at. Hence, people that have access to the fourth dimension or higher. You see, you can descend into the third dimension, into the second dimension, and into the first dimension. However, pathological narcissists are incapable of leaving the third dimension. This is why you cannot hold them accountable. There's no accountability in the third dimension. It does not exist. It is like asking someone for $50. If they do not have $50, they are unable to give that to you.
Give me $50.
I ain't got it.
You can't afford to give me $50.
And in order for someone to have accountability, then they need to have the courage to do it. Pathological narcissists do not have courage, hence they are stuck in a state of cowardice. You are dealing with adult bullies. Bullies do not see you as their equals. There's no equality in victim-abuser consciousness, only victims and abusers. Because this is the level of consciousness that they operate at. Because you are dealing with someone with severe psycho-spiritual arrested development. Now, what do we mean by psycho-spiritual arrested development? So psycho is related to the psyche or the personality or the soul. So understand that the entire personality is disordered, hence narcissistic personality disorder. This means that the individual that you're dealing with is losing their minds. When it comes to their level of emotions, they are emotionally immature because they also have emotional arrested development. They're based in shame and they're unable to move past their pride. So they do not have access to higher vibration emotions like courage, love, peace, joy, acceptance, neutrality, etc. They are incapable of letting go of their pride. Again, this is where their grandiosity and their false sense of superiority comes from. So understand that they do not want to let go of their ego. They believe in their mind that their ego, their narcissism, is their superpower. And when we are talking about the will, well, they have an underdeveloped will. They have an impaired will. So you're dealing with someone that is very impulsive and or compulsive, because it is when you have developed the will is where you'll be a very disciplined individual. So the entire psyche is disordered. The entire personality is disordered. The entire soul is dark. And the core of this is that at the spirit level, these individuals dissociated from their true selves in childhood. They abandon spirit. They abandon source. They abandon source energy. So understand that source is like a bright, shining light. And if these individuals abandoned light, then they accepted darkness. And you see where this darkness is spreading. This darkness is spreading to their mind. It is spreading to the emotion. It is spreading to the will. It is spreading to the mind because they are losing their mind. When you are talking to narcissists, you will see where you're talking to them, but there's no one really home. And they make very poor decisions. This is because they are losing control of their minds. They are mentally ill. And again, this darkness is spreading to the emotions. This is why you're dealing with a very vengeful, hateful, envious individuals, because again, they're stuck at a very low vibration. Again, very dark. They're not very expansive. And when it comes to the will, again, you'll see the same darkness being spread to the will because they're very impulsive and compulsive. And you'll see the narcissists run off with the new supply and cheat on their wives and their husbands, their girlfriends and their boyfriends and so on. Again, very impulsive and compulsive because they are incapable of controlling themselves. And you'll eventually see this darkness at the physical level. And this darkness will manifest itself as drama, chaos, lies, connivery, neglect, and abuse. And all of this is because at a consciousness level, pathological narcissists exist in victim abuser consciousness. We're talking about dregs at the bottom of the spiritual cup because we are here to expand. We are here to reach enlightenment. We are here to grow, to reach our highest potential. But pathological narcissists are not growing. And well, if someone is not growing, then they are devolving. They are regressing. And you'll see where they get worse over time. For example, if you are in an intimate relationship with a narcissist, did that relationship go up over time? Did it rise like a good stock, or did it crash and burn? They are regressing. Understand that they age like milk. They curdle. They do not age like wine. So it is of the utmost importance that you learn to discern the spirit of an individual, because on the outside, this person could be attractive, but behind the physical veil, you could be dealing with someone with poor character, someone that has not been working on their mind, someone that has not been working on their will, someone that has not been working on their emotions. So you're not dealing with an emotionally mature individual. You are dealing with an emotionally immature individual. And you'll see where behind the veil, pathological narcissists stopped developing internally. Again, not their external age here, but they stopped developing internally somewhere between the ages of 5 and 12 years old. Because you are dealing with someone with severe psycho-spiritual arrested development. So the growth of the physical body is the default, but we have to work on what is behind the veil. And what is behind the veil of the pathological narcissist is a dark soul, an underdeveloped soul, someone that has a personality disorder, someone that has severe psycho-spiritual arrested development. If you appreciate the content, please give us a like and subscribe for more important content Chica is the name. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next.